Hola, gringos and gringos, and welcome to
Gringos R Us.
Expats with a Plan.
I'm Mark.
I'm Gina.
This week, we're going to give you our first impressions of Tuxtla Gutierrez, coming up right after this.
Welcome back. So typically this would be first impressions and Airbnb. However, I spent the last day and a half looking for the Airbnb footage and I can't find it. I don't know what happened. It must have got deleted,
Well, you had that problem with your computer trying to work one-handed at the time, and it just got bogged down with so much data that she was trying to transfer stuff, and we're now beginning to wonder if that one just somehow during the transfer just transferred right into oblivion.
I think so.
Don't know.
But, I mean, the Airbnb listing is very accurate.
Yes.
So, as usual, the link is down below if you would like to check out the listing and how much we paid for it. We stayed for 1 month. We did get a 1 month discount.
Yes. And it was very comfortable. The furniture was very good. A little tired, but it was good furniture there.
I mean, somebody at some time paid good money for heavy, high quality furniture.
Yes.
But it has some age on it.
And we basically combined ourselves to the bedroom because it was a half of a bedroom and then half sitting room with a TV in it, and it had air.
Only the second floor had air.
Which made sense because the open floor plan of the bottom floor just lent itself to having a tremendous amount of heat built up. And if you were in the kitchen cooking, it got warm quick.
The kitchen was really tiny. The two of us really couldn't move around very well in there. If you opened the refrigerator, you couldn't walk past to get out of the kitchen. It was just a tiny kitchen.
Yeah.
But it was functional, and it had an oven, which we really appreciated, but that oven sure did lend to the heat in the kitchen.
Oh, yeah. The last thing that house needed downstairs was any more heat.
Yeah, Tuxtla was hot, guys, really hot. We're talking 100-degree Fahrenheit temperature days plus humidity.
Yeah.
So it would feel like it was 130 or 140 outside.
It really was the hottest we had experienced since El Tejar in Veracruz.
In Veracruz. It was hot.
Which is about the same time of year. I mean,
True. And so the house itself was very, very large and spacious, but we didn't use any of the downstairs area because of the heat. We pretty much sequestered ourselves in the master bedroom suite, and we ran the air a lot. As such, I kept asking our host, do you want us to help pay for the electricity? And he wouldn't say. He was like, no, it's included. Finally, at the end of the month, I'm like, listen, we use the air conditioner almost constantly. And we know that the CFE is expensive. And we said, how much would the electricity be? And he gave us a number, and we paid a little more than half.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 2,000 pesos. We left him an extra 2,000 pesos. Not requested, not required.
No, and just a shout out to Alfredo. He was great.
Oh, man.
He was Johnny on the spot. We had a couple of issues that popped up that were minor things. One of them was we didn't know where the main breaker for the house was. We had an electrical occurrence that was in the actual barrio itself, and electricity went out. And apparently when it went out, it must have tripped the breaker, and the main breaker didn't come back on.
Yes, and then there was the time where the electricity was out, and when it did come on, one breaker.
Yes, one breaker tripped and would not reset.
It was broken, and he had to order. We didn't understand this. The word for the breaker switch is basically pill. The pill. That's what they call it in Spanish. I forget what it was now. Pillas, I think it was. But he had to go buy a new one. And he brought somebody in to install it.
Yep.
And
And that's when I found out that No Shit is available in both English and Spanish, because they were like, no toca, no toca,
No,
you know,
yeah.
don't touch it. And I was like, no shit. And they both laughed. So they understood exactly. It's like, okay, you know.
Yeah.
So
your hair would have been standing up on end, honey.
it is standing up on end, but you just couldn't tell.
So let's talk about the electricity for a minute. When it went out for hours, like 11 hours, I think it was the one time. And when the internet went out, it went out for hours. So the internet was out one time for about 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah.
The electricity, the wattage definitely is not consistent. It varies.
You could tell just by the revolutions of the fan. We have a fan that we carry around with us, small little one that rotates and oscillates, and you could hear the revolutions speed up
Yep.
and go down.
All day.
Yeah.
All day you could hear it. So, you know, there is a lot of fluctuation in the electricity. And there were insects. This house, I don't know how old it is, but it's got some age on it. And there were definitely a lot of ants, cockroaches, and termites. Now, regarding the ants, they weren't a horrible nuisance. There would be some in the kitchen, various types of ants too, different breeds. There were large ones, medium ones, tiny ones, easily taken care of. I have some ant products, not a big deal.
And we put a barrier down, and it would last for a couple of days, and then we just need to reapply the barrier, and we were good to go.
The cockroaches, we only ever saw a dead one. I don't know why. They come out to die. I think that he probably fumigated before we arrived, and just one by one they would disappear in various places. But they were dead, feet in the air. The termites, he can't control this. It was termite swarming season, which I found out after I figured out what it was that was coming in and swarming all around my computer. They just get in the house. I'm not sure how they were getting in the house, but they were, and they had wings. And they would come and they would fly everywhere, and then their wings would fall off, and then they were crawling everywhere. And I killed bunches and bunches and bunches of these termites. Now, I will say, he's got some pieces of furniture that had some sawdust under them.
Yeah.
And I told him about it so that he knows. So if he wants to save the furniture, he can get somebody in there to deal with that issue.
And some of the wooden structures outside by the car area, because it actually had a nice open barn door, sliding open garage door that allowed us to pull in. You could see that at the bottom of some of the doorways there was some
damage.
Sawdust that was sitting there. So they have done some damage there, but
again, the house itself was clean.
Oh, very clean.
We did hire someone who came in twice and did a cursory basic cleaning, just some sweeping and some mopping. And that was it. I mean, there's not a lot really extra fancy and special to say. It was a very comfortable stay aside from the heat. The bed was comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, we had a functional kitchen. We had a place we could park our car off the street, a large open space.
Yep.
We had some plants. We had bird song. I mean, we would hear birds every night. The neighborhood. We were in a barrio. I can't say it's a colonia. I want to say it's a barrio.
Yeah, because it's pretty small. I mean, as far as the actual San Antonio barrio itself, it was not a large barrio.
It was called Pedregal San Antonio. I looked up Pedregal. It means scree. So basically a rocky hill.
And guess what? That's very apropos. I mean, because it was up a hill. It was up at the top of the hill. And Central Norte, which was the main road that went right through the barrio, had all sorts of options, you know, for papeleria, lavanderia, restaurantes.
Tayudas.
Oh
my gosh.
Kiki's.
Kiki's arrachera was delicious. I got pastor one day. There were places to eat.
Taco Loco, which was
all
where the
along
pastor
that
was.
street. All along that street. Very good food. And the neighborhood itself is northeast of Centro Historico. So it's northeast of the Zocalo. Not walking distance at all.
No.
You would need a car or a cab. But the neighborhood is it's its own microcosm of culture.
Yes, it is.
There is no English spoken,
No.
or very, very little, if at all. And we had nice neighbors. It was relatively quiet.
Yeah.
Occasional barking dogs, not a lot of them, and they weren't real big dogs.
No, and we had the security guy who worked totally. It was a volunteer.
This one's funny though.
And
Okay, wait. We got to describe this. There's this weird whistle noise we are hearing every night, and it gets close, and it gets far away, and it goes on all night. He's almost convinced that it's some kind of reptile. Because we've heard the little gecko and all the clicking at night, mate calls. And I'm like, no, it can't be. It sounds too much like a whistle.
And then we were like, no, it's not a bird, and turns out that she was right. It was a whistle that he would blow so that you would know where he was in the barrio. And he would ride his bike all night. I mean, starting at about the time that the sun went down to, I would get up sometimes 5:30, and he was still going around. And
Now,
we gave him.
Well, wait, one time I saw him out in the street, and it looked like he might have been an actual police officer or a neighborhood security guy. He looked like he had things on him, like a radio to call for help and a club. And he's just riding his bike. I thought maybe he actually did this for a living, like a salaried thing. No, he was a volunteer. He was doing it for tips. Well, one day he came to the door.
Well, yeah, okay. Yeah, he did. He Gina went out to sort of just witness as he was going by, and he stopped to talk and was very pleasant, and wanted to get something to drink, if we could give him something to drink. And
well,
so,
I offered the drink because I was pretty much under the impression at this point, oh, this guy's doing this for tips, and I didn't have any money on me. Our money was 2 floors up and in the bedroom. So I offered him a drink. It was hot.
oh yeah,
He gladly accepted it.
yeah. And vendors.
Oh man.
We had all sorts of vendors going through that up and down our little street.
Cocote y Nancy Curtido. Le vengo ofreciendo Cocote y Nancy Curtido.
¿Dónde? Uno, ¿cuánto cuesta?
¿A 15 cada bolsita?
15. 15 cada uno o 15 total? Todo.
15 cada uno.
Cada uno. Ok, so 30.
30?
Sí. Something new to try.
Which, let me explain the street. It was a street going one direction, and the other direction, it was the path through the park. And people drove through it.
Like a literal path through the park.
And it was constantly being utilized both directions. But vendor-wise, we had the fruit people that would come through, about 3 different fruit people. We had the drink guys that would drive around on their motorcycles and honk their horn and let you know that they were coming around with drinks, because they were actually working on a house that was almost across the street from us. And they'd hear him come by, and he had a distinctive pattern to his horn beeping, and they would come out and get a refresco from him. And then we had
The guy with the plums or dates or whatever those things were.
and the guy with the whistle, steam whistle.
Oh, the camote. It's the camote? Is that what it is? It's, you might have seen videos of these in large cities like Mexico City, where there's a steam whistle and they've got steamed sweet potatoes and bananas. And they often will serve them with lechera. Well, we had one of those.
Yeah.
And he didn't have sweet potatoes, but he had bananas. Mark wasn't a fan.
I'd rather had the sweet potato.
I agree. I would have rather had the sweet potato.
It was sort of going, yeah, sweet potato, sweet potato. Got the banana and it was just sort of,
It was mushy. He didn't like that.
doesn't do it for me.
I mean, cooked bananas are mushy, so.
Sort of laid there. I mean, just, but,
Oh man.
and you had people walking through selling stuff out of their backpacks, and it just was a constant
Constant flow.
flow of people up and down the street.
Sometimes they would ring the doorbell.
Yes.
Sometimes they would just stand outside and holler. Oh, the one day we had, I didn't get any video of this, I don't think. We had the band. There was a band.
Yep.
Was it a marimba band? Yeah.
Yep.
A little mini marimba group playing in the street in front of people's houses. So regarding the neighborhood that we were in, the barrio, Pedregal San Antonio, I liked it. I liked it because the walking surface for the most part was very flat until you got to the main Central Norte, and then it was on a hill.
Yeah, if you wanted to walk down to Chedraui, you were going to be going down a steep hill on the way there, and then you were going to be hiking back up
Yeah.
a pretty good incline. with your
That
groceries.
street too had constant flow of traffic. Crossing the street at times was a long wait on foot.
Yeah, but fortunately, right almost directly across the street from where our house was, we could go to Willie's, pick up a couple bottles of Coke, yogurt, some eggs, things that we needed that were right there. It was very convenient.
And it wasn't an inflated price either.
No.
Not really. And then, of course, we would pass all the good food.
Oh.
So, I mean, we ate out considerably, more frequently than we generally would. And then at times we had so much in leftovers that we had meals, from what we ordered the day before.
Yeah, the Taluda
Yeah, we can't say the word, guys. Help us.
But I can tell you this, we called it the slice of Chiapas. I mean, we were going to go get a Chiapan slice, and oh man.
It was good.
That was some good
so
food.
Good.
And Kiki's with the arranchera.
You could see the smoke coming out as they were cooking.
Smart man. He knew exactly. He had a little vent up top that was sort of blowing the smoke out, and you just.
Yeah. I went to the papeleria there to get some copies and things made because I was getting a reimbursement for a traded in old Samsung phone from Samsung, but I needed to get some things copied, and literally it was like 1 peso per page.
Yep. Yeah, it was a great little barrio to be in, and it was coming from Tulum. It was such a welcome.
It was. It felt very, very genuine. And when I say that, I mean it didn't feel touristy.
Correct.
Now, let's talk about Tuxtla for a minute. When we first approached Tuxtla, driving in, I was speechless. It was so much bigger than I thought it would be. I realize it's the capital of the state, but I just wasn't expecting it to be as expansive as it was.
It's a pretty good sized city. I mean, and city is the right word to use. Traffic that really depended upon the time of the day and where you were at.
Yeah.
It gets very congested because there are 3 main routes that go east and west through Tuxtla, and at the wrong time of day, or if you hit the construction, which they're trying to help build the bypass so that the traffic will flow faster.
Mm-hmm.
But for now, you get down by the mall area down there, and it's a nightmare.
The mall is really nice too. Just wanted to say, it's not a huge mall, but it is a nice mall. And they have a lovely food court area. I think that's where I got my...
You got the sushi there?
I got real sushi, guys. Not the sushi that you find all over Mexico that's basically made out of cream cheese and maybe some avocado. No, made to order, cooked or prepared for you sushi with fish or whatever it is you want in it. It's delicious.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was a nice mall, simple, a little bit of a pain to get to because of the construction. You know, and we will be going through that one last time when we go from here to Huatuco. But, you know, they're working on it. Driving in the downtown area, the roads are, it reminded me a lot of driving in San Miguel.
They're a little narrow one way.
Yep.
One way because they're narrow. Cobblestone at times.
Yep.
Or just potholes.
You know, and
Overall, not in bad shape.
no.
Yeah.
I mean, getting around the Centro area and everything else, that was easy. It was basically on the Carreteras where things started to get backed up and hairy.
Yeah.
So, you know, we went to Centro a couple times, went to Marimba Park. We'll show all of you that in a separate video. But we got an opportunity. I got to know Tuxtla driving
Yeah, he did
pretty well.
He did really well.
And it reached the point where, oh yeah, I know what street we're on, and I know how to get home, and turn the GPS off, and you know.
We did have an opportunity to use a water house to refill our garrafon. And typically we just go buy a new garrafon. But and this was half the price of buying.
Well, let me explain this part to you because it made no sense.
Okay.
We take the garrafon over, we fill it. We get there, put the garrafon in, and it's for 10 pesos, you get 5 liters. No. For 10 pesos, you can get 10. Okay. I got it now. For 10 pesos, you could get 10 liters. For 20 pesos, you could get 19 liters.
That makes no sense. You lost a liter.
Thank you.
I know.
Or you could just say, I want the 10 liters. And then again, I want the 10 liters, and you spend the same 20 pesos and you get 20 liters. But
Now, we thought we were saving ourselves some money. It literally cost half of what it would have cost to take it into an OXXO and exchange. But I did notice it had a weird aftertaste. I don't really drink plain water, but I will add a packet of True Lemon or True Lime or True Grapefruit. Or I might add like a
Tang or
a
something.
lime tea, something like that, drink pack. And it would have like, the closest I could describe it was almost like a sulfury aftertaste. It wasn't real pleasant. It's tolerable, but not pleasant. I've never had that happen before.
And we've never used a water house before.
Yeah. So, you know, I don't know what kind of filtration system they're using, how much less or more is done between the water you buy at a store and the water you buy at a refill station. I'm not sure. But it was an experience.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, flat walk back home. So that made, carrying the 19 liters instead of the 20 a lot easier to get back to the house.
I got notes on his phone so that we could. And that's it. I think we're pretty much there. I think we covered all the topics.
Yeah.
So initial impressions, I liked Tuxtla. What I didn't like was the heat. And I liked our neighborhood. And our Airbnb was fine, and our host was really great. We will sum it up when we do our cost of living and give our final thoughts.
Yeah. It was an enjoyable month.
Yeah.
Especially coming from Riviera Maya, it was nice to get back to
Oh, yes.
Mexico.
Yes. Mexican food.
Yes.
Mexican people
Mexican
speaking
prices.
Spanish. Yes. I mean, just out of a tourist zone was the best part. So,
200 pesos for a dinner. We were like, okay.
A good dinner.
A good dinner.
Yeah. One that would totally fill you up.
Yes.
Deliciously.
Yes. So that pretty much wraps up the initial impressions of what we endured in Tuxtla Gutierrez. And
yes, I mean, if you're interested in going to Tuxtla, our host told us that we were like pretty much, I think, the first people that ever reserved an entire month. I think he's used to having people come in for the weekend or maybe a week at a time. And yeah, so the whole month, if we had a really good stay, I would
Yes.
say. And if you are looking to go to Tuxtla, even just for a week, definitely check out Alfredo's listing. He's a really great guy, and it's a spacious home. You're still looking.
Oh, okay.
And I would definitely say if it wasn't the summer and it wasn't hot, the house would be a whole lot more comfortable. That's just the weather. It's what it is.
Can't change that.
Well, we hope you found that helpful. We appreciate you tuning in. Thank you again. We are Gringos R Us.
Expats with the plan.
Remember, we're doing it.
You can too. And there's videos.
Over here that you might want to watch. Hasta la próxima.
Adios.